Death Watch.
So you can see that this is a well-furnished forge slash living space. You don't know how long he was stuck in this room, but you think based on the visions that you had of the previous heroes and other clues you've put together, it could have been as many as 2,000 years he was in here forging away. So where Rohan's standing is these weapon racks, and this is where he would put the completed weapons and armor. So they have, axes and swords and daggers and different sorts of armor. They're piled and stacked and hooked and hanging. It would be enough to arm a couple hundred dwarves. Then you've got all these crates with some sacks on top of a few of them, and then some ale barrels that he had poured you some ale from. And he's got this big table that he has, some writing implements and some tools from his forge. Next to his forge there, where Casimir is the barrels of water, and then one is salt water and one is oil, and the other three, they just have like ore in them or whatever. So that's what this room looks like. And now that dwarf is gone, leaving you alone in here. So what do you do?
I think we had agreed to test whether or not the barrels of ale would refill if we drank them all.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it was all, Justin. That doesn't quite sound like us.
Yeah, you guys aren't really heavy drinkers, but you pour some mugs and you can see if you pop the top off of that barrel, which is a no-no, but if you do, that it doesn't change. The level of liquid inside of it doesn't change even as you pour from the tap. So some of these crates also, like the lid's sort of ajar, and you can look in and you find foodstuffs in there. A lot of salted meat and some potatoes and a lot of mushrooms. So anyway, that's the room you have here. There's evidence to suggest that the food and drink restocks itself. But now there you are alone. And on that western wall where I've drawn that arrow is the only other door leading out of here. Oh, although I will point out where you came in down there is not a door. It's just a doorway. But to the right of that door, there is a large stone slab that's hooked up to like a slider. Think of a closet door that looks like it would slide in front of that doorway to block it off.
Which one had we come in?
The bottom one.
Okay. Did we want to stay here for the night?
Didn't we camp right before we walked down into this room?
I can't remember, honestly.
Yeah, we camped in the throne room area just before we came here.
That's right. I apologize. All right. Well, let's. If everybody's good and drunk, well, then we can continue.
Well, he was about something up ahead.
Now, Graham had also found that hammer that looked like it would fit in one of the doors that we had passed before. Do we want to head back to that door?
We can't right now. We've been sealing everything up behind us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that most of that complex was filling up with ghouls and gas that were chasing after you. So the throne room, for sure, you had blocked off the door so they couldn't get in.
But we might end up back over there. I mean, we don't know how many paths actually lead to here or not, or there or not. So let's take it with us just in case.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, whoever had asked, I think maybe Casimir, that was the reason why we're getting drunk, is so that we can face whatever's up ahead.
That doesn't quite sound like a good idea to me.
So who all was going to drink that ale?
I'd have another glass, but I'm not trying to get slosh.
Yeah, same.
What about you, Graham?
It depends on how it refills. Like if it reacts to us drinking instantaneously, then that will fascinate me and I'll need to experiment more.
Okay. Well, like I said, when you pop the lid off and then you pour from the tap, the level doesn't change at all.
Okay, I'll probably just join them in another glass then.
Okay. All right,
Island
so-
logic says that we've got to get good and drunk before facing what's up ahead.
Right. Well, so this is a different taste than you're used to, because almost all of the alcohol that you guys drink from your village is sort of a sweet type of alcohol. So there's like a lot of rums and then, sweet, fruity tasting beer. And this is not that. Like I had said before, it's thick enough. It feels like you could cut it with a knife and fork. It does taste good, but it hits you way harder than anything you're used to. Way harder. So let's see. Like Casimir, you said you'd had 2 glasses. How many did you think you had, Graham?
The same. I think we had one when we spoke with the dwarf. And so, yeah, I'm having a second one.
All right. So then all of you've got that feeling, that perfect buzz feeling you get right before, where if you kept going, it would turn to disaster. So you've got a good feeling as you go ahead through the complex.
If we're at that point, doesn't that mean we have to drink more?
No, no. Just because we do it in real life doesn't mean your character has to.
Yeah. I'll offer up a silent toast to the dwarf. Thanks for his hard work and dedication over the years.
All right. So are you guys going to move on?
Yeah.
One thing I want to do before we leave is I want to switch out the battle axe that I've been carrying around for a sword.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's plenty to choose from. You'll find short swords, long swords, and even great swords.
I think I'll pick up a dagger.
Okay. Well, it's a masterwork, so
Okay.
go ahead and put that down with whatever weapon you pick up.
What other kind of ranged weapons were in here?
Well, they have crossbows. There's a whole rack of crossbows and infinity bolts. There's like barrels full of them. So they have the light and the heavy crossbows.
All right, I'll pick up one of those. Those are masterwork?
Yeah.
Are there any shields in here?
Yeah, there are steel shields, large and small. But they're not as good as your shield,
Oh, okay.
right? Because yours was magic and mithril.
Oh, I didn't know my shield upgraded too.
Yeah, it's a +1 mithril large shield. Right, and then like I said, so there's books in that shelf, and then there's that treasure chest there you can see up by the table.
I'll take a quick
Yeah.
perusal of the books.
Okay. Do you speak dwarf?
No, unfortunately. Let's see. No, I don't have it prepared.
Okay.
I'll take a couple and just put them in my pack then.
Okay. Most of the books you see, in addition to like a dwarven title, they'll also have like pictures, not drawings on the cover. I don't want to say crudely because they're not. It's just utilitarian, and so it's not heavy on detail. But a lot of them have pictures of the various tasks and stages of smithing. So It
Okay.
seems like a lot of these books have to do with smithing and mining. Okay, anybody, anything else?
No, I'm good to go.
Same.
Yeah, that's all I needed.
I'm good.
All right, well, go ahead then. Graham, we're going to go with the same, are we going to go with the same marching order and all that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, go ahead. There's that only one other door.
Do I actually just move my token through it?
No, you just, if you're going to do any checks or anything.
Oh, yeah. Just the normal. So I'll search it for traps.
Okay.
Do you want that in the tower?
Yeah, roll it in the tower, please. Okay, it's clearly trapped, but you can tell when you look at it, it's trapped for someone coming into it, not on your side of it. So if someone busted through this door or came through this door without deactivating the trap, there's this massive pickaxe up near the ceiling that would swing down and skewer them. But you can clearly see how to deactivate that, so you guys can walk through safely.
Okay, I'll do that. Do you need a disable device?
No, it's easy enough. What is your disable device?
It's +7.
Okay. Yeah, we don't need to roll it for this because you're on the right side of it. All right. So as you open that door, Graham, here's what you see. So as you exit the forge, you step into a marble floored hallway that extends about 20 feet. The walls are exquisitely carved out of the cave walls themselves. It's not like a made wall. They carved it. So there's dwarven runes and artistic images chiseled into the walls. Ceiling's about 10 feet up, and it's smooth as well. And that's what you see. So the hallway curves sharply to the right up ahead.
Okay, I'll creep down to where the hallway makes a turn and peek around the corner.
Okay. Yeah. So as you turn the sharp corner to the right, at the end of that hall, you're confronted by a large iron banded door. So who follows Graham?
I usually do.
And then Casimir? Or then
Fenrir.
Okay. So there you go, Graham. You've got that door up ahead of you.
All right, I'll approach it cautiously and inspect it for traps.
Okay. Make a roll into the tower. Yeah, so you look over it and you don't detect any traps at all.
This one's clear. I'll try the handle or the
Okay,
knob.
so it's locked, but from your side. So all you got to do is unlock it.
Okay, I'll unlock it, open it a crack, put my ear to the crack, and listen.
Okay, roll a listen. Yeah, so as you open it and you put your ear to it, you hear like a very light breeze, and as you open it, you can feel musty air pushing out of the room over you. It's a very light breeze, and it's got a musty, earthen smell to it. But as you open that door a crack and peek in, you don't see anything dangerous. So this is what you can see with the door cracked open. So the floor is the same, but there's some rubble on it.
All right, I'll take a step into the room.
Okay. All right. So here is what you see. The rest of you can see this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. This room was once beautiful, but time and worse has taken its toll. Some of the ceiling tiles have fallen and litter the floor. There are two large dwarven warrior statues on the north wall, staring grimly at any who enter. Like some of the other statues you've seen, these are carved out of rock, but wear actual crafted armor and hold massive hafted axes. And there's pillars in each corner. And between the two pillars on the eastern wall is another door. So everybody roll a search into the tower for me. Okay, so that's what you see. So this door on the right side is... okay,
Sorry,
Rohan.
Yeah, sorry. When the map popped up, it blocked everything else.
Okay, so Rohan, you see between the two pillars on the left side of the room, the stonework there on the wall is clearly different than the rest. There's some discoloring to it that makes you notice something odd about it.
Okay, so as everyone else starts to head the other way, I'll kind of say, hold up just a second. This wall here doesn't look quite right.
Right.
And then I'm going to do a full search of the area.
Okay. What would it be if you took a 20?
A 34?
Okay. Well, is that what you want to do, or you want to?
Yeah. I think it definitely warrants
Okay.
the full search.
Right. So it takes you about 10 minutes, and you're running your fingers over the outline of the discoloration, and you can see at the floor signs of scraping, and all of the signs point to this being a hidden door, but in your search you don't find anything that would open it. There's no lever, no part of the stone that you can push in. There's nothing that you find to open it.
Okay, I guess that's the best I can do. So we can move on.
Okay, Graham.
Yeah, I actually just wanted to take a look at these statues.
Okay. So these are twice the size of a real dwarf. So, and they're made out of a really hard stone. They're meticulously detailed so that if you look closely at the faces, they're unique faces, different details, but they're still clearly just stone. Now, the armor, like I said, it's been crafted and placed on these statues rather than being carved out of the statue like some of the other ones you've. And then the weapons they hold are masterfully made, long hafted axes. But you don't find anything else out of the ordinary looking at.
Okay, I'll proceed to the door and search around.
Okay. So this is another iron-bound wooden door. Go ahead and roll your trap finding. You don't detect any traps, and it is not locked.
All right, I'll open it a crack and listen. Okay, I'll open it a bit and listen.
All right, so as you open it, a foul odor assaults your nostrils. It's got that same musty scent that you're grown used to, but there's something else mixed in it, maybe mold. And so you can hear the sound of the wind as it rushes towards this open portal, but you don't hear anything else.
Okay, I'll take a few steps back, coughing and sort of gagging a little bit. Oh, this one's bad. We can't go this way.
Well, I believe we have no other choice, Graham.
I was afraid you were going to say that.
Be
All right.
careful.
I'll maybe take.
Do we have any handkerchiefs or any kind of loose pieces of cloth or anything that we might be able to tie over our mouth and noses?
I was just
Well,
going.
I'm sure you guys have something, an extra shirt or whatever, kerchief.
Well, for now, I was just going to take the corner of my cloak and pull it up to my nose and mouth, and then proceed into the room.
Okay. So the workmanship takes a jarring turn in this hallway. The floor is composed of large stone blocks fitted together, and in a lot of spaces, the mortar's crumbled or turned to dust, and so now some of the stones wobble when you step on them. Nearly every space on the floor is stained with blood. Now it's turned into a fine dust that shifts under your feet. The walls are also brick and mortar, and they're stained with blood too. So this hallway is about 25 feet long, and there are two doors at the end of it, one on the south wall, another on the north wall.
All right, proceed into the room and pause at the two doors, looking to one and then the other, and then back at the rest of the party.
Okay, so the north door is another boring iron banded wooden door with a handle, and then the south door, it catches your attention because it's steel, the whole door. There's no visible keyholes or handles. There is a circular indent in the center of it that's a perfect match for your pendant. And inside that indent, all four hero sigils are very finely engraved in the steel.
My rogue senses tell me this is the door to go through.
Okay.
But I'll search it.
Okay, roll it. No traps that you can detect.
All right, I'll take my pendant out from underneath my shirt, and I guess I'll take it off over my head and put it in the slot.
Okay. All right. So as you do that, light flares from beneath it, and then the door rumbles and the ground shakes, and so dust begins to fall on your head from the ceiling, and then the door itself moves inward towards the room and then slides out of the way and reveals a circular room. This and as the door opens, the fireplace on the far wall flares to life, filling the room with light and warmth. You can see 4 beds arranged along the wall, a large bookcase inside next to the door and a table with 4 chairs roughly in the center of the room. What stands out to you is that the room is clean, free of dust, and it lacks the musty smell you've become used to. The smell of cooking meat fills this room, and you can see in the large fireplace turning all by itself. It's got something on it. There's a large iron hook that extends from the stone of the fireplace, and it's one of those swinging hooks, so it's holding a large pot with steam coming out of it. It's not holding it over the fire, just sort of close to it. Yeah, so that's what that room looks like. And then there's that table, and then, like I said, books in the bookshelf, and then there is some sheets of paper or parchment on the table itself.
Does that smell come out into the hallway?
Yeah, you can smell it right away.
I'm going to tell Graham that we need to go in there.
All right, Fenrith. And I'll head into the room and start looking around.
Okay. Go ahead and move yourselves in. All right. So there you have it. All the things I've explained, those are nice beds, really well-made beds.
So is all of this going on while I'm searching?
No. They waited for you to search. So you're all together now.
Is the meat done?
It looks like it. It's some sort of large bird that's spinning around on that spit in there.
I'm going to take some. What's in the pot?
Well, so when you look at that, it's got a ladle and you stir it a bit, and there's a vegetable stew making in there. And it's got, potatoes and carrots and corn and a lot of mushroom. It smells delicious.
Are there any like plates or bowls in here?
Yeah, there's some on the table.
I'm going to make myself a plate.
Okay. Yeah, so you can slice the meat off of that bird and spoon some of the stew into your bowl. It's delicious food. Some of the best you've ever tasted.
You guys, obviously this was left by the dwarf too. You should sit down and have some.
I'll try not to give in to any sort of hunger for a while, but I don't think you could really resist that type of food for long.
Yeah, it's really difficult to have that smell and not partake of the food.
Yeah, as I'm spooning like some of the stew and on into my bowl and like a cut of the bird onto my plate, I'll be grumbling about possible glamours and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I'll sit down, start eating.
Well, there's clearly some magic at play. I mean, just the way the fire started, and then the wood isn't burning, but it's giving off warmth, and then, this food there that's cooking itself. So, but yeah, it's like I've said, it's probably the best. We'll say it is the best food you've ever tasted, at least in memory.
I'm going to let the others go first while I take a look at what's on the shelves here.
Okay. Right. What languages do you read, Rohan?
I believe it's just Elvish and Common.
Okay. Well, most of the books are in one of those 2 languages. So there's a lot of different books, but there's nothing really interesting to the story. There's dwarven religious texts. There's reports of battles, different mining techniques, the location of different veins that have been found, just stuff like that on the bookshelf. Now, who's sitting at the table?
Me, Graham, and Casimir, it looks like.
Right.
I'm going to, like, this kind of, and I would imagine that this cheers me up quite a bit, as it's been a long time since we've had, hot food, especially really good hot food. So, brightening the mood, I'm going to start messing with Graham, trying to see if I can get him to believe that. How big is that bird?
Well, a little bigger than a turkey, although you've never seen a turkey, your character, but that's how big it is.
All right. Well, I'm gonna see if I can get him to believe that the bird was actually like an ancient race of something.
Okay. Yeah, so you're going to try and convince Graham of this?
Yeah.
All right. Well, go ahead and role play it. Do you want to bluff him?
Yeah.
They're an ancient race of what?
They're an ancient race of akin to the dwarf that we saw.
And we're eating them?
Yeah, everybody ate them back then.
I can see why. They're delicious.
All right. Casimir, while Fenrith is spinning this yarn, you see the parchment that's on the table, and you can recognize the writing. So it's in common,
Okay.
and it doesn't say who it's from, but it's clearly like a first person account from someone. And what it says is, I found this magical room. My sigil was not quite a match, but when I placed it in the door, it still opened for me. It saved my life. I was near starvation and near dying of thirst, and the food and the drink never seems to end. And the bed seemed to give me more rest than any bed I've ever slept in. I'll stay here for a few days and then continue my journey.
I'll read that aloud.
So that's what it says.
Well, seems like whoever left this note seemed to have survived this food no problem.
Yeah, one of the other things that he probably didn't mention in that lettergram is that if you sleep with one of the wings of this under your pillow, that it brings you good fortune too.
I thought it was flight.
Okay, Graham, roll a sense motive.
I already did. I got a 6. Or you want another one, it looks like?
Well,
Yeah,
looks like...
I think this is a new check. It's just a different bluff.
All right.
I don't aid you, John.
Yes.
Fine, I got him.
Yeah, he seems to at least believe what he's saying.
Wow, that's incredible. I'm going to try that. What,
Yeah, so you can go carve one of the wings off.
what were they called again?
I don't quite recall the name from the book that I had read. Give me just a bit, and I'll see if I can remember it.
I'll kind of tap a finger on my chin, and I'll say, I think they were called the Roc 2, a diminutive version of the rocks that gain sentience and sapience.
Which spawned from the line of dwarves, like one that we saw earlier.
Yeah, interbreeding occurred, for sure.
You got to try and find one of their feet. If you can find their feet, it's said that you can, if you carry it around your neck, that you can run like the wind, almost to the point where you're flying.
I'm going to kind of put an end to the nonsense. At hearing these things that they're starting to actually make him believe things that could potentially put him in danger, I'm going to put a stop to it.
Okay. All right. So you don't believe him, Rohan, and you're going to tell Graham this is all not true, right?
True. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell him, Graham, they're just making up stories for entertainment. Don't believe that it's actually true.
Okay, Graham, roll a sense motive on Rohan.
Oh.
Yeah, he seems to be being sincere as well.
I can't tell the truth from the untruth.
I'll come clean about it. Since Rohan spoiled the fun, we were just joking, Graham.
Okay. Now, go ahead.
Oh, you guys are playing a prank on me?
Yeah, it's a big prank. It's just they're really good. It's a really good food. So, go ahead, eat up, and I'll pour in some more soup.
That's a good one. I like pranks. I know a few good ones myself.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Gonna wake up without any ears now.
Oh, the prank's called coup de grace.
Yeah.
I'm going to remind Graham that I don't like pranks.
What, Rohan? Everybody likes pranks. That's what my master said.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Yeah, I don't like pranks.
No.
I think they're a waste of time and they put things and people in danger.
Rohan, I'm gonna quietly whisper to Graham here is that Rohan's pranking him right now.
Well, what my master said is sometimes it seems like people don't like pranks at first, but years down the line they'll laugh at it. I think that's how you'll work, Rohan.
Have we done many pranks in the past that I may not find funny still?
Oh yeah, that one where he went to sleep on watch and you got carried off by a cat.
That was a pretty good one.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I can't take credit for that one. I didn't mean to do it.
It was a prank that the cat played.
Well, interesting that you say that because the cat saunters into the room as well. And it goes over and curls up on the bed to the right of the fireplace and goes to sleep. So you can see on this side of the door, there's another indent for your symbol. Right now, it's still open.
I'll get up and go put my thing in my my pendant in there.
Right. So you put it in there, and then light flares, and then it, the floor shakes, and then it slides closed. And when it slides closed, you feel like a slight suction sensation as it pressurizes the room because it's airtight. But nothing changes besides that.
Well, I know that we haven't been awake very long, but we've been through quite a bit in a short span of time, and I honestly wouldn't like to pass up the opportunity to have at least one night's of rest to just re-energize and refresh us. What do you guys say?
I agree. If the thing that is down here is supposed to be as dangerous as Strongforge said, we should probably think about what we might need to do to prepare.
What say you, Graham?
Yeah, I like the sound of that. It seems like it's been a while since I slept in a real bed.
What about you, Rohan?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. It will give us a chance to try and look through some of the books and other things that we've gathered so far.
Okay. Well, it'll be quite a while before you're tired. Well, I shouldn't say that. You're starting to feel a little sleepy as it is. You had the really strong ale. Oh, also, there's more ale in here. There's a barrel beside the bookcase.
Now, is that like the ale that we had before, or is it closer to what we were drinking in in our village?
Yeah, I misspoke. It's actually wine in there, and yeah, that's much closer to the sort of thing you would drink in your village.
Yeah, I'll have some of that with another helping of food.
Okay, yeah. So from the food and from the fire and the warmth, you guys are starting to get a little bit sleepy, but that's not me saying you have to go to bed right now. So Rohan, you're digging around through these books, and there's just like 3 or 4 that are in Dwarven. The rest are in Elven, and a few are in Common. But like I said, it's just like mining reports and stuff like that. That's all that you find. Roll a search in the tower. Yeah, that's all you find as far as the books go. So really, that's all that's going on. Although Casimir, as you're sitting there relaxing, and people are doing their small talk and Rohan's looking through the books, you do get the urge to smoke a pipe. And when you get that urge, you notice that there is a pipe and a box on the table in front of you that
All right.
has a leaf in it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go about packing the bowl and maybe getting a stick or a twig or something
Okay.
to light it from the fire.
Yeah. Yeah. So soon enough, you're puffing contentedly, and it reminds you easier times in the village. Not a lot of people smoke pipes. Not that there was any sort of stigma about it. People just didn't often. But there were some that could always be counted on to be sitting on their porches or on the porch of the council hall puffing on pipes. If you remember, there were 2 council members that were married, a man and a woman, that were both extremely old, and they tended to argue a lot, but in a playful way. And they could usually be found on the council hall porch, puffing away on their pipe. And that's just the thought that crosses through your head about, easier days before
Yeah.
you were heroes, and before you were almost killed many, many times and had to kill. It seemed like you get this sense of impending loss.
Yeah.
The loss of the innocence that you had.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to also figure that, or I'm also going to blame any like weird eccentricities that kind of pop up with my characters' actions as being kind of those old memories. Like maybe one of them smoked a pipe and now I'm getting their cravings for tobacco.
Right, because you never did you?
No.
Yeah, exactly. So now you find it odd, but it's actually pretty soothing and enjoyable. It seems to help you think better, you notice.
Yeah.
All right, so the rest of you...
I'd like to take a look through that bookcase. I'm also going to refill my glass when it's empty, too.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. It's a very good wine. It doesn't hit as hard as that Dwarven Ale did, but it's not long at all before you got a nice middle upper class buzz going on.
Yeah, that's about where I want to stay until bedtime.
Okay. All right, so you go looking through the books, and you walk over there and you're not especially interested in one or the other, but you do grab a book that catches your eye. It has a green and gold cover, and you pull it out, and you see this shape on it. It sort of looks like a C at first, but then as you look closer, you can see that it's more like a crown on its side. But as you look even closer, you see that it actually could be like a moon, right? Like the shape of a quarter moon. It doesn't have any words on the title, but when you open it up, it's like reading something you've read 1,000 times. And this, so you take that and you sit down and you're drinking your wine and you're reading book, and your mind is sort of wandering as you read it. So your eyes go over the words, but you're thinking of this thing or that thing. But after a while, you realize that you have understood what you've read, even though you weren't paying your full attention. It's almost like reading something that you've read before, like I said, and you realize that you're holding in your hand a holy text, and this is the holy book of Corellin Labyrinth, which is that name that kept popping through your head while you're vision. And it describes, like a lot of religious texts, in the beginning, and then it describes the process by which he formed the elves and led them and taught them and gave them a land to live in. Anyway, that's the part you're reading in the beginning. And it just makes so much sense to you. And now you're thinking about it and how your whole life, you and all your people have not really had a god. You've just basically worshipped, although that's too strong a word for it, the nature and the elements and the seasons and all the good things. And now you see how foolish that was, because that's not what created you and that's not what gave you your strength. And so now this book can go in your inventory. This is the holy book for Corellin Labyrinth, and the god of the elves. So according to this book, this god created your people out of thin air and put them on the world. And he's some things that you notice as you're reading that are especially important to him are things that have been important to you, such as protecting those who are weaker and preserving life, things like that.
Okay. After reading through this for a few hours, I'm gonna remember that I had that journal in the bag too, and so I'm gonna replace the journal that was in my bag with this book, and then I'll start reading through that journal too.
You can't. Well, okay, roll a will save. Yeah, the thought doesn't even occur to you. This is some mind-blowing stuff. This is life-changing, soul-changing stuff. You can't put it down.
Okay.
So you get to far enough to get to where it talks about his domains, although that's not the words it uses. More of a abstract explanation of those particular essences of character that he cares about or that he governs over: chaos, good, protection, and war. And it all just seems to really click with you. But that's what you're doing, is reading that book. The thought to read a different book just doesn't even come into your mind. Okay. Graham, you are sitting there, you're starting to nod off at the table. And you realize you haven't played your sham in a long time.
That's true.
That's what you play, right?
Yeah.
Sham. Yeah, that's just a thought that occurs to you, but you don't feel like a compulsion, so you can do whatever you do.
Well, no, I suppose just like with Casimir, there'd be lots of thoughts of home being in such a comfortable surrounding, so I'll hesitantly pull it out of my pack and I guess try to play something.
Okay.
What did that sound like again? I thought you had a description at one point when we were playing back towards the beginning of what this instrument sounds like.
Yeah, I can't quite remember. And it's possible I might have been wrong, too. I think I remember when I was listening to it again, I was like, yeah, I didn't know what I was talking about. But it's just a piped instrument.
Yeah, it's a woodwind instrument.
But you kind of make it sound seafaring or something, if I recall, right?
Yeah, that was the idea. That was be the kind of tunes that I play.
It's like a wooden instrument with, the holes like a flute, but it flares like a bell at the end. It sort of looks like a trumpet at the end. But anyway, so the rest of you, that suddenly you start to hear Graham playing his sham. And go ahead and make him perform or whatever it is, Graham. So it's not sounding awesome, but at the same time, it is, because it reminds you all of home. So one of the things when you were all going through your training, which was very rigorous and very difficult, and also it was really lonely because there were other teams training as well, and you knew it was going to come down to you or them. So it's pretty cutthroat, especially for your people. It was really cutthroat. So it tended to get really lonely. And Graham would always happily play this sham, and sometimes he'd really kill it, and other times he was terrible, but it didn't matter because there was something else to focus on. And those are the thoughts that are coming to you now in this warm, comfortable room. So even though it doesn't sound amazing, it sounds familiar, which brings a comfort all its own.
Well, seeing as how, again, this is the first relaxing time that we've actually had since we set out, it sounds pretty awesome right now.
Yeah, and it's like the perfect soundtrack for the book you're reading, too.
So when he has like a pause between songs, I'll comment that he's gotten really, really good at that.
Oh, thanks, Fenrith. I almost forgot I even played the thing.
There is one in the room that is clearly a fan of your sham, and that is the Silver Raven, who's come over and stands on the table in front of you, and he's bobbing his head along, cawing, and it adds a nice harmony to the sound of the instrument.
I'll ask if you'll play another one.
Yeah, sure. So what I was thinking is my default type of tune would be something that evokes, wanderlust. So I'll switch to something a little jauntier sounding since the Raven joined my band.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Better have some more wine, too. That'll help you.
Yeah, so this is, now he's got a hold of it now. All the rust is gone, and he's really belting it out. Rohan, you're even starting to get the loneliness, the happy loneliness of all the memories of standing atop the lighthouse looking out at the ocean all by yourself. right? Like if you closed your eyes, you'd be there right now. So that's what happens and before eventually the warmth and the comfort and the feelings push you all to your bed. So unless there's anything else anybody wanted to do before we went to sleep.
Yeah, I'll fall asleep looking at one of those scrolls, trying to decipher it again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll your decipher script and add a +4.
And if I can, I'd actually like to stay on watch, at least for the first part.
Okay. First, Graham, you understand it. You have succeeded.
Okay. So this was the scroll of read magic I was trying the last time that Casimir told me to keep working at it.
Okay. So what happens?
Well, now I can attempt to cast it, and
Okay.
but maybe I won't do it tonight.
Okay. Right. So you're reading over it and it all clicks and you're like, oh, I got it. And you know when you need it, you'll be able okay, Rohan, roll a will save into the tower. Yeah, so you wanna be on watch and it's really, really, really you're so tired. Everybody looks so comfortable curled up in their beds. Casimir's got the cat on his feet purring away. And you just want to go to bed and get some sleep. But through sheer strength of will, through sheer force of will, you stay up and keep watch. So now you're up all alone. Even your raven is fallen asleep. What do you want to do with this time?
I'll work on Graham's short bow.
Okay. All right. So in bow making, there is an element of heating the wood. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
Right. So while you're working on that, you realize that the fire from that fireplace has a special property to it. It just seems like the wood takes to it really well. So you can have a +2 to your craft. Actually, +4. So do 4. All right. So what does that mean? Now you didn't add the 4. Okay.
Yeah, that's with the 4.
Okay.
That means I make some decent progress on it, but it's not finished.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you make some progress and you're up for about 2 hours working on that. And that's as long as you can go. After that, it's time for bed.
I guess before I headed off to bed, I'd tell Rohan that if he wanted or felt the need to, he could wake me up for second watch.
What say you, Rohan?
Okay, yeah, after get through the 4 hours, that's about how much we sleep anyway, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's your trance.
Yeah, I'll wake him up and then I'll bed down.
Okay. Well, Casimir, is there anything you want to do while you're
I guess I'll switch out some spells on my ring of storing.
okay?
And just prepare and, just keep a general eye out.
All right. Okay. Yeah, nothing occurs. Nothing happens. And before you know it, everybody's coming out of their trances and it's, morning for lack of a better word. And you all wake up feeling better than you felt. You literally don't ever remember feeling this good. All the stiffness and soreness that you've just sort of gotten used to is gone. You feel bright and sharp, hungry. You notice that there's a ham turning on the spit now, and there are eggs in the pot, scrambled eggs.
I guess when I see people start waking up, I'll ready plates for them.
All right. Yeah, so everybody wakes up to a heaping plate of food prepared by Casimir. And what do you guys want to do?
I'm going to take this first bit of time in the morning to offer prayer for my spells. And I also I want to empty 2 of the water skins at some point and fill it with some of the wine.
Okay. Yeah, that's easy enough. So you fill that up. Now, when you pray for your spells, you get a really odd feeling from it. It just feels like you're doing it right, finally. You feel really strongly about it. And you feel so strongly about it that you realize wherever your spells bounce around in your head after you've prepared them, that you have an extra level 2 spell available. You just feel so much stronger in that regard than you've ever felt before. And then, Casimir, you realize the same thing. You feel like you could cast even more today than you've been able to in the past. So it's, for game terms, it's an additional of your highest spell slot.
Okay.
For you, not the highest for Fenrith.
All right.
So as I said, you all wake up and you feel better than you felt than you can remember ever feeling. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to really go out and make a difference. So go ahead. What do you do?
Well, after breakfast, I'll see if there's any more tobacco.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, I'll smoke my pipe and then see if I can put some in a pouch or something.
Yeah, you can. And as you scoop it out, you realize the amount is not changing. But you put it into your pouch and and it's working. You're filling up your pouch, but the box seems to continue to produce it.
I'd also like to take a few pieces of meat or whatever else we can get to actually travel well, wrap it in some oilcloth or something like that, and something that can help us extend our rations if we get back here.
So there's a real large ham in the fire now, and you can carve a whole bunch off of it. And you already have the oilcloth and stuff like that. So you can definitely get a week of rations per person off of that ham.
Dire boar.
I'm gonna hate ham after this.
Yeah, especially once we start putting it into everything, chopping it up, putting it into stews, mixing it with roots, garlic, all that stuff.
Maybe this was the giant boar that Graham, stuck in the head.
It's got to come from somewhere, I guess.
That poor boar.
Yeah, while I'm sitting there puffing on my pipe, I'll kind of look at my companions and I'll say something along the lines of, I think that this room might be the most dangerous trap I've encountered yet, or that we've encountered.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and make Graham believe that this is the board that he stuck back in the village council.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it, Graham. Do you believe him or not? I'll give you a +2, Graham, because he was messing with you yesterday.
So 7 with my +2.
Yeah, you think it very well could be, although it's a little hard to believe, because how would it have gotten here? And obviously it's produced by magic and whatever. So I'll say that the thought you have about it is whatever,
Putting Fenrith on a list.
Well, yeah, my eyes will go wide at first, and then I can slowly start to piece together how it's probably not the boar, but then I'll go back to thinking it could be the boar because there's a lot of magic in this room, and they probably magicked the boar from our home. And I won't feel too bad about it because I imagine we ate pigs back home.
See, the truth of it is that boar has been destroying our village ever since we left.
You remember that boar's name was Fillmore, and he belonged to Shem, who's a well-known farmer in town. So, anyways, let's get moving. Graham, you first. What do you do?
Okay, I'll put my shoes on and head up to the other door.
All right, so that's just a regular. So you open up the door and you go back to the musty earth and rot or mold smell, and that door there, it's just an ironbound wood door. It's not locked, and you didn't detect any traps on it.
All right, I'll open it a crack and listen.
All right, so as you go to open it, there's resistance, and you look down and you can see that the floor in there is dirt, and over time dirt has sort of been pushed up against it, so you've got to push harder than normal to get it open. And you hear breeze still, and you smell dirt, that powerful dirt smell. but you don't hear anything else.
So will you be needing a strength check to get this door open?
What is your strength?
It's a 10.
Yes, I'll need a strength check. Yeah, so man, you put your back into it. You already feel awesome. Belly's full, and so you push it open, and your light illuminates. Like I said, now the walls, they still have their workmanship. They've been smooth, but the floor is just pure dirt. And up ahead, you can see bones sticking out of the dirt.
All right, I'll move into the room a little bit more.
Okay, go ahead. All right. So you can see that's the shape of the room, and all about you can see bones and skeletons and skulls sticking out of the dirt. They don't have anything left on them. It's just bone. So this is a really soft, dry dirt, right? So for game terms, it just means you will not be able to run or charge on this. It's way too loose. It's like trying to do sprints on the beach or
I'll
on sand dunes.
close the door behind us, the one into the room, the special room.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you put your sigil in there, and the floor begins to shake, and dust falls from the ceiling, and the door slides shut and seals behind you.
I'm a little wary about bones, so I'll pull out my dagger and I'll move quietly further into the room.
Okay.
Before you get too far, Graham, let me cast a spell on us, and I'll gather everybody close to me, and I'll do a hide from undead.
Power
Okay.
up.
So now as you go to cast, you speak a prayer directly to Coralon Larathian, and you feel this powerful surge through your body, and the energy encompasses you and spreads to your companion. And Graham, over in that corner, up in the northeast, in the dirt, you can see there's a wooden door in the floor.
Okay, I'll look the trap door over.
Okay, 1 second. All right. Yeah, so you look at that door. Go ahead and roll your trap sense. Wow. Yeah.
Was that a WoW 1 or a WoW 20?
That was a 30 is what you rolled. So you don't see any traps on that door. And it's not actually even latched. So it's got a ring on it you can grab to pull it open.
All right, I'll grab the ring and pull it open.
Okay. So there's a ladder leading down, and you can see that the floor the floor is dirt down there as well, down in the darkness. So give me 1 second, and I'll put you on the new map.
I'd kind of like to do a quick little search as we pass through this room. If the dirt's this soft, there might be something hiding in it.
Okay, hang on 1 second. Now, Graham, can you see that new map?
No.
Okay, there you go. So that's what it looks like. That's what you see. So your light, you've got that ever-burning torch?
Yeah.
All right, that's what you see. Now, the rest of you, can you see that new map, or just the one you're on?
I can
I can
see
see the new one.
Okay, well, pretend you don't. So there you are, Graham. You're down the bottom of this ladder, and it's dirt. Now, Rohan, you wanted to search the bones?
No, just kind of a light scavenge as we move through to see if I'm looking to make sure that there aren't any ghouls or gas or anything kind of half baked.
Okay, roll a spot.
Into the tower?
No. All right. So you don't see any ghouls or gas, but you do see that the bones clearly come from multiple different creatures and beings. So you can see what is easily elf bones, but also dwarven bones and orc bones, all three of which you've become very familiar with throughout this complex. But you also see goat skeletons and bones and other really large creatures that you've never encountered before, but nothing dangerous that you can detect. Okay, Graham, what do you do?
So I'll sneak down to get a better look at the rest of this area before I wave anybody else down the ladder.
Okay, move yourself where you want to be and then roll a move silently. Okay. So it's hard to move silently because the ground shifts so much when you step, but you sneak up there and this is what you see. So some effort was taken at some point to level this floor, and they did a pretty good job of it. It's a pretty level, just still real loose earth. But if more work was intended, it never took place. The walls are rough mud and stone. The ceiling is about 10 feet high in most places, and that's rough mud and stone. And as you sneak up to that corner, you see a mostly square room with massive piles of gold coins along the entire western wall. Precious stones and crafted items, golden goblets and plates and whatever, mixed throughout the pile. And there are 3 steel-bound wooden chests in between the larger piles, and there are enormous spider webs that extend along almost the entire ceiling.
Well, I know we don't understand the value of currency, but I imagine just the effect of my torchlight glinting off of all these gold items has an impression on me. So I'll utter an audible, ravens, look at that.
Yeah, so that's what you guys hear from up above.
Are you all right,
Grand
Graham?
gleams.
I'm going to jump down the hole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got my ring of feather fall, so I'm just going to jump.
Well, it's only 10 feet.
I'll climb down.
Okay. So that's what you guys see now.
So do we recognize the value of gold from any of the memories or information that we have from past selves?
Yeah. You even do just without that, because you had a trade system going in your village, and in village you trade something of value. And if you remember, back in the early sessions, I'd explained that there are jewelers there is a jeweler in your village, and so he would make pretty jewelry. And I said most of it was like shells and wood and things of that nature, but that there was the mine on the island that had been closed because nobody wanted to work it anymore because they said it was haunted. But they used to mine the metals and even precious metals that the jeweler would use. So you understand that this is an extreme, and plus the memories of your previous heroes, you understand this is an extreme amount of wealth. And the uses of wealth aren't lost on you either. It just, in your village up to this point in your life, would have done you no good, because nobody had anything that anybody else might want that they couldn't acquire themselves, except for specialized labor. In the cases of specialized labor, what those specialized laborers wanted was things like food and household items like that. So, but you do understand what this means.
Well, do you guys want to take some? If you remember, Brandon, I was the apprentice jeweler, so if nothing else, I am going to grab a few coins, possibly that we can melt down once I get back.
Yeah, go ahead, move yourself where you want to be, and then
I'm gonna wait for Graham to clear the room like he normally would, because I'm not.
Okay.
My character's not so overwhelmed with the sight of this, but he definitely sees where he could use it in, or the jeweler back home might be able to use it.
Yeah, I'll say in response to Fenrit that we shouldn't take enough to slow us down, if any at all. It will, it should remain. It will most likely remain here. We can come back at another time.
All right, so Graham, the only thing else you notice is that there is more bones underneath the spider webs in the southeastern corner.
Well, I'll walk around the room and look for just search around the room, I guess.
Okay.
And
all
I'll
right.
do my kind of scan for undead just underneath the soil as well.
All right. So move yourself where you want to look. We'll do our searches that way.
You said that there were jewels, though, like precious gems of some sort.
Yep. Yeah.
Could I-
Go ahead.
Could I roll a spellcraft to see if I could find some pearls that are 100 gold pieces or more in that pile?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say spellcraft. We would use spellcraft. You can find pearls.
Well, the reason I was going with spellcraft isn't that I could isn't that I want to appraise them. I just know that this is at least enough to cast, say, identify.
Yeah.
I don't know its actual value.
Right. We can say, we can say, looking at it, you'd be able to say, oh, that one would be good enough to cast.
Okay, so yeah, I'll just kind of rummage through those and see if I can find some.
All right. Let me do some rolls here. Okay. Now, Fenrith, what are you looking at?
I'm just waiting for Graham to say that the area is clear of traps.
Oh, okay. Do you say that, Graham?
Yeah, that's what I'm in the middle of doing.
All right. So, Graham, you roll your search. All right. So you go in and you walk around and look at things, and you don't detect any traps at all.
I think it's okay to come in.
All right. So I'll be right over here. And is the picture accurate representation of what's in this room?
Well, how do you mean?
Like piles of gold?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to take some and put it into that bag of holding.
Okay. How many would you like to take?
I don't know, like 10 pieces maybe.
Okay, yeah, that's easy enough. Yeah, you scoop some up and put it in the bag of Rohan, the only thing you see that could possibly become undead and attack you is the bones and skeletons underneath these spider webs in the southeast corner. And Casimir, you find 8 pearls that you think are good enough to cast those spells.
Okay.
And I'll try and clear off some of those spider webs to inspect and make sure that those skeletons aren't going to come back and attack us.
Okay. Yeah, so the interesting thing about these spider webs is that most of them are about as thick as your silk rope. And you've seen spider webs this big before. And some of them feel like they're new. But yeah, when you look, you see there's not any intact skeletons anymore. It's just scattered bones and, rib cages and skulls, things of that nature.
So noticing that some of them are new, I'm going to start looking for any kind of crevice or any place where a spider might hide.
All right, roll your spot. Okay, no, you don't see anything in here now. It's pretty well lit because of your lights and the reflections. You don't see any areas where a spider hides. But as you're looking around, especially at those spider webs, you do catch out of the corner of your eye what had looked to be just a regular treasure chest moves over into this pathway here, and it grows right in front of your eyes and then changes shape into a door with an angry face on it. So you see that. What do you do?
I'll take a 5-foot step back, draw my bow, and kind of call to the others. It's not going to be easy to get out now. There's something blocking our way.
All right. Everybody roll initiative. All right. So you guys all turn when he says that, and you see it as it solidifies into shape. And it's a large door. It has the exact shape of a door. It has a handle. a keyhole, but it blocks the entire pathway there, and it's got an angry face carved in it. It's a stone door, is what it looks. So yeah, it covers that whole space, but it's not doing anything else. So, Casimir, what would you like to do?
I'll ready my trident, and it's not moving or anything?
No, not anymore. It moved into place and then changed shape, and now it's just standing there blocking the path.
I'll try calling out to it. I'll call out to it in common. What are you? And that'll be my turn. It's not on me. It's on Finrick, so I'll make a note of that, I guess.
Okay, Graham, what would you like to do?
So I'll go up to, well, first I'll ask, what is that?
Okay.
I'll say I don't know. It was a treasure chest a moment ago.
Do we just go through it?
I mean, it does look exactly like a door now.
Did you want me to try?
Yeah, let's try and interact with it.
Fenrith, let me see that bag of holding. And I'll start rooting through that to get that 10-foot pole out, and that would probably be my turn.
Okay. Rohan?
I'm going a few steps back to put my back against the wall and keep my bow trained on the face.
Okay. All right. So then, for all intents and purposes, it's just a door. So, Casimir, did you want to do anything?
So it's not talking to us?
No.
All right, I guess I like the way Graham's going with his idea of the pole, so I'll move up over to there and wait for him to finish fishing out the pole.
Okay. So, Graham, you get that pole out of the bag of holding. Do with it?
Yeah, so I'll get up to where I can start to interact with the door, and I'll start prodding it with the pole in different places. I guess maybe since this is such a common rogue trope that maybe I had some sort of training to do this at a distance, basically searching for traps or ways to trigger it maybe.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you go up there and you poke it with this 10-foot pole and do a reflex save. Yeah. So you poke it and then it's stuck fast, the end of that pole. So make it won't come off. Make a strength. Yeah, it's just stuck there. You can't pull it off. And so, Casimir, that's what you see. He's jabbed at it with this pole, but now he's clearly trying to pull the pole off, but it's stuck on there.
I guess I'll give him a hand.
Okay. Right. So you run up there and you grab that pole and you pull on it. Go ahead and roll a strength check. Yeah, so finally, after a lot of effort, you pull it off. And then that face animates and the eyes look around and he says, "Hey, why'd you do that?"
Speaking common or what?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. We're trying to get past you.
Oh, nobody can get past me.
Then how do we
Otherwise, I'll be left alone.
Oh.
And I'm so bored. And one of you stole.
I think more than one of us, but yeah, I took some pearls.
It's got like a child, sort of a child-like voice, sort of like an adolescent timbre to it. But he says, "I don't want to be alone anymore. You can stay down here with me.
Or you
Tell
can go
me a
with us."
story."
That he wants a story? Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Tell me a story.
Well, we could tell you a story, or you can come with us when we leave here, and you can live a story.
I can't.
Why not?
I can't leave. I have to guard my treasure. And
What if we
I'm
took
so
the treasure
hungry.
with us?
No,
No?
it has to stay here.
All right.
All right. So, so it sounds like a kid. It's clearly blocking it's blocking the way, but it's not, it doesn't have a hostile tone.
Finrith, tell it a story.
I'll begin to tell it the story from the holy book that I had read yesterday. In the beginning and all that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you start reciting that to it. It's not long at all before he interrupts. It's like, "This is boring. maybe I'll just eat you. And you can see its surface begin to ripple a little bit, although it's only momentary. So let's have, okay, here's what we'll
Maybe try telling him about the time we crossed that tree over the ravine. That was a pretty good story.
All right. I'll try and tell that if I'm able to.
All right, so you would have been here, Graham. Poke it with that pole.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so Fenrith, you start talking about that story, and he says, yes, that's better, that's better. What happened? How did you guys get across it? Like he's really excited and interested in it.
All right, yeah. So I'll go into as much detail as I can. Of course, from what I saw, with Rohan falling, and then those Graham and Casimir being stuck on the rock with the donkey, and then me fighting the orcs or the goblins, whichever they were, on the other side, and eventually Rohan got all the way down. And he shot an arrow with a rope attached to the end out into the water, and I'll go into the end of it.
Yeah, so you're reciting that, and then he's like, "Wait a minute, they're coming!" And then, so not you, Fenrith, but Casimir and Rohan and Graham, you see this massive spider just appear out of thin air behind Fenrith, and so it will attack Fenrith there. So it appears literally out of thin air, like it just sort of suddenly existed. And you hear like a rustling of the coins behind you, Fenrith, and this thing will attack you. But you haven't seen it yet. You feel something sink into the back of your neck, and you take 6 points of damage. It's just suddenly just two fangs sink into the back of your neck underneath your helmet. And roll a fortitude save. Yeah, okay. So that's what you feel. It sinks into the back of your neck, and it's like this extreme pain. And then the door is like, oh, I hate him, I hate him. And it closes its eyes. And that takes us to Casimir. Your move.
I will move up to the spider, which I can't do. And I'll attack it. I think Fancy Grounds might have locked up on me. Yeah. Let's see if I can roll. No, I can't. All right. I'll be right back.
Okay.
There we go. Never mind. Yeah. So I move up and action. I'll be using it two-handed.
Okay.
That hit.
Yeah. Yeah, that would hit. I don't know why it did.
It won't let me target it for some reason.
Hang on.
I can target myself.
How about now?
No.
Okay. Well, anyway, roll your damage, right? So you go up and you stab your trident with two hands into its. Now this thing, it's really big. It looks like a giant wolf spider. So it's got those hairy legs and wide gait, and it's got gray and blue markings on it, and it shrieks as you stab your trident into it. And you did a total of 9 damage.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. Yeah. Okay. So that's your move and your attack. Okay, Graham.
Okay, I'll activate my haste boots and toss a javelin at it, and then I'll move as well. Here's my javelin toss.
And it won't let you target it?
It shows I'm targeting it. I'm not sure why.
Did you try rolling the dice over or your attack onto it?
Oh yeah, it wouldn't let me target it. Yeah, I can try that if you want me to re-roll.
No, it's okay. I just wonder why it's doing that. So you had thrown a javelin at it?
Yeah, I should actually say that. I forgot to put the modifier in there. That's actually a 13 with -4 in it.
Why -4?
Because they're engaged in melee.
Oh, I got it. Okay, so that would miss then. So you're trying to hit it. But it's got two of your companions in front of it. It's moving around, so your javelin, goes through its legs and lands in the pile of coins. But you move up there, and is that your turn?
Yeah.
Okay, Rohan. So yeah, this is what you see now. They've gone up to engage this massive spider, and it's taken a wound, but it's clearly got a lot of life left.
So I'll take a 5-foot step forward to try and get a little bit of a better vantage point between Fenrith and Casimir for my shots.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do a full attack with 3 arrows.
Okay. And it won't let you target it either?
It shows I'm targeting it, although it shows I'm targeting Fenrith. Oh,
Yeah,
it
you've
shows
got
I'm targeting everyone. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's targeting everyone on the map.
Anyway, all 3 of your arrows hit, so go ahead and roll damage.
All right. So yeah, it looks like a total of 23 points of damage.
Yeah, so these arrows streak by Casimir and sink into this thing's body, and it shrieks in pain. Fenrith, your move.
Is it still alive?
Oh, yeah.
All right. I'm going to cast Searing Light.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not going to let me target it either. So it's a ranged touch attack.
Yeah, that's a hit. So, what do you put your hand forth or what?
Yeah, it's extend my hand open, and then light shoots from my open palm.
Yeah, so this beam of light shoots forward and slams into it right in the face. Go ahead and roll damage. Okay, yeah, so the light slams into it, and parts of its carapace shatter and fly off, and ichor starts pouring out of it. And did you want to move?
Yeah, I'm gonna move.
You had wanted to do 5 foot, right?
Yeah.
Okay, is that your turn?
Yeah.
Okay. This thing, it's shrieking, this really high pitched shriek, and ichor and juices are falling out of it. A couple of its legs are snapped, and it just disappears right in front of your eye. Okay. And then Rohan, one pops out right in front of you, right to the side of you. It's clearly a different one because it's not wounded, and it attacks you. But it misses, and that brings us to Casimir.
I'll attempt to cast Shield on myself. I am able to cast it,
Okay.
and that's my turn.
All right. Graham. So now a new one is peered over by Rohan, jabbing at him with his legs and trying to sink its fangs into him.
Okay, I'm going to try to move up behind it and get flanking, readying my dagger. At the same time, I'll tumble if I have to.
Okay. Yeah, so as you go to move up, go ahead and move yourself. As you go to move over there, your dagger's like, yes, just like that. It's like got this excited feeling to it as it speaks in your mind. So you have flanking.
And I'll attack it.
Okay.
Those are
What are
my
you doing here?
Those are my 2 attacks.
Okay. Yeah, so you go up there behind it, your dagger's excited, and you jab at it, but it's moving around too much, and you can't get a good angle, so you miss, and your dagger's like, come on, get it together. Rohan.
Okay, I'm gonna be surprised. Say, where are these things coming from? As I take a step back and shoot full round 3 arrows at this one as well.
Okay. Yeah, so once again, all 3 arrows sink into its underbelly, and it shrieks in pain.
So 14 damage this time.
Okay. All right. Is that your turn?
That's all I can do.
Okay, Fenrith, your move.
All right. I'm going to move to there. Let me do this first. So I'm going to stay here. I'm going to cast Invisibility Purge, and then I'll move to that area next to Graham.
Okay. All right. So what does that spell do?
I'm pulling it up to put it in there right now.
All right, so this white light surrounds you in a sphere, and then it spreads out through the most of the rest of the room, and then when it disappears, nothing has changed. Like nothing has been revealed by this spell.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so that's your move.
Yeah.
And the mimic opens one of its eyes and it starts screaming, "Kill him! Get rid of him! Hurry up!" So that first one, it pops back into view right where it had been, and then it dies. It just
Okay.
shrieks and curls up on itself and dies. You know, ichor and whatever oozing out over. So this spider will once again press its attack on Rohan, but your AC is just too high. Graham, another one, pops into view right next to you and attacks, but it can't get through your armor. So Casimir, now there are two of them, and it's your move.
All right. Casimir's not quite sure what's happening, but he thinks they might be going invisible. So he's going to 5 foot to there and attempt to cast See Invisibility.
Okay. Go ahead and
So-
attempt your spell.
I do it.
Okay.
So, do you need to know the description of it or anything?
No, because that you cast that spell, but you don't see anything that you can't already see.
Okay.
So either these are the only two, or they're not invisible. So
Well,
that
it
brings.
also works on ethereal, which is why I was asking. Let me end my turn here.
Well, hang on, let me check that. Okay. All right. So yeah, no, you cast that, and that'll last a while, but you don't see anything other than the ones you.
Okay. I'll tell my party that I don't see any more invisible ones, and that'll be my turn.
Okay. Graham, that brings us to you. Now, this one is pressing down on you. It's bearing over you. What do you do?
So I'm going to take a step up and try to sneak attack the one that's on Rohan, but I will attack defensively.
Okay. So what? That was 2 attacks?
Yeah.
You should be able to target it now.
Okay.
Other people were able to. Anyway, the one hits. The first attack hits. So go ahead and roll your damage with sneak attack. All right, so you stick your dagger right into its bulbous hind end, and you feel this surge go through your dagger all the way up your arm, and your dagger's like, that's the spot. And you notice that one of the rubies, where before it was like see-through, now it's got some color to it. It's got this like blood red shine to it on one of them. Is that your turn?
Yes.
Okay, Rohan.
Okay, so trying to get away from this thing, I'm going to provoke an attack of opportunity as I move up to there, across up next to Casimir.
All right, it will take that attack, and it will hit you for 5 damage, and give me a fort save. So as you run by, its fangs sink into your arm. So its fangs sink into your arm, and you can feel it. It hurts a lot, and you can carry on with your movement. So go ahead.
Okay, then at the end of my movement, I'm going to plant my feet, pull 2 arrows out of my quiver, and fire them simultaneously.
Oh, okay. Is that a feat you have?
Yeah, I just got multi-shot with the new level of Ranger.
All right, nice. So you sink 2 arrows right into it. Go ahead and roll for damage. Yeah, so it shrieks and stands up a bit as these arrows pierce into it. Nice shot. Fenrith, that brings us to you.
All right. I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon.
Okay.
So I'll have it just right next to me so that it can attack Phase Spider 3.
All right, so what shape does that weapon take?
It takes the shape of a longsword.
Okay. And you put it here?
Yeah, that's where.
Okay. So you're going to have it attack that spider. Go ahead and make the attack roll.
Okay.
All right, so it hits. This glowing longsword appears in the air and slashes down and bites into one of its legs. Go ahead and roll damage. All right, it does a good slices most of the way through one of its legs. And then
I can't move myself again, but I'd like to move back towards Casimir 5 feet.
Are we just abandoning Graham
Looks like
surrounded
it.
by spiders?
He can tumble.
Oh, wait, was this ground, I'm sorry, Brandon, was this ground the same as up above? Can we not charge?
yeah, you wouldn't be able to charge.
Okay, could you move me back and I'm going to draw my sword.
Okay. All right. Graham, this one will turn on you after you stuck your dagger in its back, and it will attack you. But you're too quick for it, so its fangs miss you. This one disappears from everyone's view except for Casimir. Casimir, you watch it move over to here, but it looks different, right? It doesn't look solid as
Yeah.
it moves over there. But it's your move.
I can't see where you moved it to, but I will.
Right there.
Okay, I see. I guess I'll stay there and I'll ready for it to become physical again.
Okay. Graham.
Okay, I'm going to attack it and then tumble backwards after the attack.
All right. So go ahead and make your attack roll. All right. So one of your hits gets through, stabs into its leg, and you do 4 damage. And then when your dagger pierces it, your dagger says now, and you get a feeling you wouldn't be able to quite describe, but you have the sense that you can do more damage if you want to. So roll another d6 at it. So you see a blood red flash from your dagger, and then that ruby on it, it goes clear again, but more damage, some power flows out of your dagger into the spider. Something that you didn't know to do.
Is that an effect I'll be able to repeat? Did I see how it worked or anything like that?
Yeah, you got the sense of it. Like you just will it to happen, but you know that you don't know what the parameters are for causing that power to fill it to begin with, right? But that last bit of power that hit it from your dagger kills it, and it crumbles to the floor, curls up under itself.
Okay, well then I'll just move back to where I guess you moved it. All right, and that's it for my turn.
You wanted to move back. You didn't want to move?
It shows that I moved to where I said it.
All right. Okay, Rohan, your move. So now there's nothing left. The one is dead on the floor, the other's dead on the pile of gold, and the other one had went invisible. But Casimir is facing that corner with his trident ready. Rohan.
Everything cut out. Sorry, I didn't hear anything for the last minute or so.
All right. Well, the one Graham was fighting is dead now, and you don't see any others. Although you do see Casimir in the corner with his trident raised, ready to strike.
Okay. I'll just ready in action, kind of stay where I'm at for if anything happens.
Okay. Fenrith?
All right, so I wouldn't be able to see it, but since I've already directed that spiritual weapon to attack it, and I don't have to repeat my command to it unless I want to issue a new command, it does say that it can attack incorporeal creatures. I've been trying to find what happens with invisible creatures, and so far all I've found is basically agreeing that it can attack invisible or ethereal or incorporeal type creatures as long as I don't change the command. What are your thoughts, though?
Let me look at it real quick. So I'm seeing that it can attack incorporeal creatures, but this is not exactly the same thing. Where did you see?
I did a search asking the question, and I'm not able to find an official answer for it. That's the problem. But going through everything that I've seen so far, and the majority of people are saying that they let it attack invisible beings, but as long as I directed it before, because I'm not the one controlling it, it's more of a divine favor.
All right.
Basically.
Yeah, we'll say it can for now, and I'll look it up after. So go ahead and roll its attack.
It's a
All right, it's a
critical
hit.
threat. Is they can still get critical hits. It says that it has the same critical threat range as a normal longsword.
Yeah, roll to confirm. All right, that'd be a critical hit. So go ahead and roll critical damage. Okay. So you do see it float over there, and it slashes, although you can't see what it's slashing at.
I probably should have rolled that separately because it only took the 1d8 plus 2 once. So I think you'd need to add 2 to that total of 9.
All right. And then what did you want to
do? I will ready my action for when it reappears.
Okay. All right. So then it reappears, Casimir. So it triggers your ready action.
All right.
Hang on. There we go. All right. That's a hit. So you stab right into its face as it appears and do good damage to it. And
that's my turn.
Okay. Roll on.
That was its whatchamacallit, its attack opportunity.
Okay, so I'll do just one shot.
Okay, go ahead. Oh.
Automatic fail.
All right. Okay. Fenrith, you're ready action now.
All right. I'll use my circlet of blasting to cast Searing Light on it.
Okay.
So it will be a ranged touch attack.
That would hit. So what dice did you roll there?
Those are D8s. It's a 3D8 up to a total of 5D8.
All right.
And then,
so you activate the circuit of blasting, and this beam of light shoots forth and slams into it and splatters it everywhere. And it coats everybody except for you in spider guts. But then it's gone. It's just spider guts everywhere, and the mimic has hands now, and it claps him, and he says, "Bravo, good show." So what do you do?
I'm going to turn to the mimic and politely ask for it to move out of the way, or I may have to do the same to you.
Ooh, it's threatening me. Oh, please don't.
Politely, though.
I'm really scared. Then it changes shape, so its arms and its face disappear, and buttocks appear. Stone buttocks appear, sticking out at you. They're pretty realistic looking, and you can hear them laughing.
I'll draw an arrow. I'm not going to fire, but I'll draw it.
Okay.
Do we want to force our way out of this thing?
Well, we killed the spiders. Won't you let us go now? We helped you out.
Well, the spiders can't hurt me. Now it's changed of shape again, and its face is sticking back out, and it's looking at you. The spiders don't hurt me, so you actually didn't help me. Although you did help me because it was entertaining to watch. That's true. That's the most fun I've had in 14,287 years.
You know, I have an idea. I don't know if it'll work or not, but Casimir, come over here with me.
I'll be looking about the room, making sure there's no more, and then when Fenris says that, I guess I'll follow him over.
Okay.
I'm going to ask the door if it likes music.
No. All right. So you guys go over there. What are you doing?
So I was going to bring up the idea to Casimir It said that it wouldn't leave because it doesn't want to leave its treasure. Let's just load all this up into the bag as much as we can fit, and then I would assume it has to follow us.
Yeah, sounds like a plan to me, but it might attack us if we keep stealing from it.
That might give Rohan and Graham the chance to get out if it comes after us. Maybe we can distract it. They can distract it long enough for us to get around it.
Maybe.
All right. So when you guys went over there, it's changed shape again, and now it's like an ear way elongated, taken 10 feet away from it, like sticking out in the air. Anyway, it does that while you guys are over there conferring, and he says, "What are you talking about over there? Are you making a plan?"
No, just boring things. I'm telling them
I
about that book that I was trying to read to you at the very beginning. I can read it to you again if you'd like.
I don't believe you for a second.
I'll pull the book
I want to
out.
be part of the plan. I want to be part of the plan. I can help make a plan.
All right. Come on over then.
So you guys want out of here, and I'm in the way. So really, what has to happen is I need to get out of the way so you guys can leave, right?
Yeah, sounds good so far.
Well, I don't especially feel like it, but I'll make you a deal.
Listening.
If you guys bring back to me any treasure that you find in the rest of this complex, any treasure like what you see in this room now, if you promise to bring it back to me, I'll let you go.
Deal. I promise.
Sounds fair enough.
Casimir, hero of the rock, do promise to bring you any and all treasure found in this facility.
He looks at each of you in turn and says, "Do you promise?"
That sounds fair.
I'll say I promise.
Graham?
Any treasure?
Any gold, any jewels, you got to bring back to me.
Okay, I promise.
Okay. And then he changes shape again. And he very slowly, now he looks like a treasure chest again. And he very slowly inches his way over here. Now, on the top, on the lid of the treasure chest, face appears. It's good luck. And by the way, I have a brother, and he's around here somewhere. And he's not nearly as nice as me. So look out for him.
Do you have any other advice on if we encounter him, how we could possibly parlay with him as well to make a deal?
No, he's not like me. He'll just eat you. You've consider yourself warned. And don't think to break your promise, because if you do, one day I'll find you.
We would never think of breaking our promises. Thank you, good door chest thing.
I'll take that 10 gold out of that bag and lay it on the ground before I go out.
Thank you very much. This stuff is important to me.
I'll do the
All
same
right, so-
with pearls.
Do you all leave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So now you walk up the ladder and you're back in that dirt room there. And now what do you do now?
Well, Rohan, didn't you find a door back past the room where we stayed the night last night?
I found a section of the wall that looked like it should move, but my greatest efforts were not good enough to find a way through.
Well, maybe we should go and re-examine that.
I can guarantee you that my search has not gone up since then.
Yeah, but we can aid you at that point.
And you were probably also looking in the wrong place.
True.
We'll do a thorough search of the room, perhaps.
Yeah, so you guys want to go back there and look?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, as a side note, just in case it does come up, that see invisibility is going to last a half hour.
Yeah. All right, so you guys get back into this first room here, and now that it's been pointed out by Rohan, you can all see the difference there. It's just the difference in the coloration and the texture of the stone right over there in between those two pillars. So What would you like to do to try and figure it out?
Well, do you want to everybody to do a thorough search real quick, or should we just aid Rohan? What do you think, Casimir and Graham?
Well, technically, if we're going to have Rohan do search the entire room, we could all just aid him, and that would be our thorough search. We would all take a 20 essentially on the whole room.
Okay, yeah, that works.
That would take a few hours.
It's not
we
like
could-
we have anything else to do.
Or to go.
Unless you want to go back into that other room, I'm comfortable sitting in there.
All right, so you guys are just gonna very methodically search the whole room.
Yeah.
All right.
So with full aids and taking a 20, I'd be able to pull a 40.
Okay. All right. So everybody's aiding you by like opening your eyes and pointing at individual things for you to look at, and holding the light for you. But you don't see anything in this room that would be like a lever or a catch or a point in the stone to press in or anything like that to open that, to get that thing to move.
Hey, Graham, try using your ring of blasting on it.
Okay.
Always a fun choice.
So I go to try to do that, but it's out of charges. I don't understand what's happening. Stupid ring. Ravens curse you. Work.
Yeah, so he holds up his ring and it doesn't work. So, I mean, you know that some magic items have a limited amount of times you can use them. So that doesn't work. But yeah, you didn't find anything that would help you open. Oh, so just ignore that, John. So Casimir, I tried to send this in whisper, but I sent it the wrong character. But
Okay.
that reminds you, watching Graham trying to use his ring, that the dwarf had given you a ring, and as you put it on, you knew instinctively what it would allow you to do, and it would allow you to pass through stone in limited circumstances, at least.
All right. So what was it, Earth Glide or Stone?
Meld into
what-
stone.
Hang on, and I'll get you the exact. All right. So, yeah, this ring would allow you to effectively use the spell meld into stone.
All right.
And that was something you understood instinctively when you put it on. And you all, they had individual different things, but you had the sense that there was more to it, but that's what you know for sure it could do.
All right. Well, no time like the present to see how this is going to work. I think I might be able to try something here, I'll say, and I'll walk up to the door, the secret door,
Okay.
and I'll use meld into stone and see if I can pass through to the other side.
Yeah, so you activate your ring, you take a deep breath, and you step forward, right, and you all watch him sink right into the stone and disappear. Now, the way this works is this isn't for like walking through rock. This will meld you into the stone, and that's where you are. So you come back out where you went in.
Okay.
And so that's what happens. You meld into it. You can still hear them out there. So you're aware of what's going on out there. You can't see them anymore, but you can still hear. And it's just such an alien feeling. Once you step in, you're still, and you quickly lose the sensation of where your limbs end and the stone begins. And it's a very odd feeling. But as you meld into there, you realize that this ability doesn't allow you to move.
Okay.
So if there is something on the other side, that you're not going to be able to get to it by walking through.
All right. So yeah, I guess I'll pop back out, kind of
Okay.
shake my head.
Yeah, so he comes back out right out of the stone. The stone doesn't move to accommodate him or anything. It's like he is the stone, and then he pops out, and your good friend Casimir stands in front of you, and he shakes his head and says that idea is not going to work. But then the floor begins to shake, and dust comes raining down, and some more of the ceiling tiles fall down, and then this area you have been investigating, it starts moving backwards, and it's scraping along the floor, and it's shaking the floor. You can feel the rumble in your chest. And then after it has scraped backwards about 10 feet, it pushes to the left, leaving an opening that you can walk through.
There must have been some sort of enchantment on the wall or something that reacted to the spell.
So
That's quite the neat trick there, Casimir.
I didn't mean to do it.
So this is what you see, Casimir. Now that stone has disappeared into the wall as if there, and you can see the seams where there was a space for it. And now you've got this dirt pathway, and it on the walls are like cave stone, but from the floor up to about knee level is the beginnings of a brick wall that had been being built. So that's what you see there.
All right.
And it curves sharply to the right. And can you all see now?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So what do you want to do here?
I guess I'll go up to, I guess I'll peek around the corner is what I'll do. And I'll wait for Graham to see if he wants to go ahead, do his scouting.
Yeah. So you peek around the corner and you see there's a single step up onto stone, and it's dirty and cracked and pitted stone with odd colorations. And you don't see any sources of light up ahead. Now, you turn back and ask Graham if he wants to go ahead. Do you want to, Graham?
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead and move yourself where you want to go.
I'll move up here and then stop and inspect the stone ahead of me.
And I'll follow right behind him.
Okay. Yeah, so it's just really large stone blocks, but not the fine workmanship that you've come used to seeing from dwarves. There's a lot of loose spaces and missing mortar and chips and broken sections. And there's odd colorations from dust and dirt buildup over who knows how long. And so that's what you see there. But the roughness of it would make for good footing, at least. So that's the one nice thing about it.
Okay, I'll hunker down and move quietly up to this intersection ahead and peer,
Okay.
and then look
All right.
down both ways.
Okay, roll your move silently. All right. So off to the left, you see a large gate, a closed gate. It's made what it looks to you like it's made of bone. And then you can see up ahead, it curves to the right again. And then off to your right here, it looks like it curves to the left.
Okay, I'll go look at the gate.
All right. So this gate is fully 10 feet high, and it's butted right against the ceiling. And when you're looking at it up close, what's interesting to note is that there are absolutely no areas where you could look through. It's perfectly solid, but it's made of bones of every different size and sort, all interlaced and interlocked and stacked on each other. It's just airtight. It's got a large keyhole right on the front of it. Roll a listen, everybody. So, Rohan, what you hear from the other side of the gate is a steady drip of water and the crackle of a fire.
Okay, I don't think I'll make too much of it for right now.
Okay.
So should we go through it?
Sounds like there's a fire on the other side, but I don't know how we would get through right now. Do you think you could pick the lock?
I could try.
All right, give it a try. I'll move up to there and I'll keep watch, Brandon.
Okay.
I'll look the door over for anything dangerous first.
Okay, go ahead and roll your trap find search spot search. Okay, you do find a trap, and you're inspecting this gate, and you're looking at the lock, and it's pretty big. So as you got the light and you're peering inside it, you notice something that's familiar from lectures your master had given you years ago, and that leads your eyes to the walls on either side of you, and you realize that if you don't pick this lock just right, some spikes are going to come out of each of those walls and meet in them.
So would
go ahead.
Would having a key circumvent that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would. So if you fail on your lock pick, it will activate the trap. And that's not like a few spikes, it's floor to ceiling. Little holes that you notice that spikes will shoot out of and stab into your body and anybody in that space.
Oh, this one's a dangerous one. You guys see these?
Yeah, what is it?
It's trapped, but not a pit trap. They're changing it up on me.
Well, can you disarm it?
I can try.
You don't sound like you want to.
Wait, I haven't had very good luck.
What do you
Maybe
suggest
we
then?
should leave it for now. Let's see if we can find a key up ahead.
That's a great idea, Fenrith.
So come on away from there, Graham.
Proceeding on, I guess I'll hang a right then and go down this hallway.
Okay. So as you make it to this point, here is what you can see. So the wall ends at that space right behind you, and looking over the edge, you can't see bottom. It's just empty blackness for as far as you can see. And you can see spider webs over here, and they're sort of strung between this platform and this one over here that you can see now. But that's what you can see.
Okay, I'll come back to the party and report what I've seen. It looks like we might have to try the door after all.
Should we look to see if there's any secret passages in this hallway first?
I'd like to take a little bit of a closer look at the spider web.
Okay. They look much the same as the ones you just encountered. They just seem older.
Okay, is there anything trapped in them, or is there anything else that they're attached to other than these two kind of stone causeways?
No, you don't see anything trapped in them, and you don't see what else they're attached to besides stone causeway. Looking off, and it's nothing but blackness.
Are the spider webs still sticky?
No.
Are they big enough or strong enough to possibly hold our weight?
Well, they could be.
Give it a try, Rohan. I'll tie a rope to you.
Yeah, tie a rope around me and I'll give it a shot.
All right, so you go ahead and tie a rope around Rohan. And Rohan, you want to move out onto this spider web?
Yeah, kind of slowly taking my time, just trying to see if it'll hold my weight at first.
All right, so you step out onto it, and it definitely bows with your weight, but it doesn't snap. But make a balance check. All right, so you step out on there and start shaking, and you're waiting for it to snap, and it doesn't, but your boots slip and you fall. So now you don't. Now you've fallen onto the web, if that makes any sense.
Okay,
All
yeah,
right.
I'll keep trying to move forward, but kind of crawling as I go.
Okay. You move out to here, and then a couple of the strands snap. Now, the one that you had your knee on, so make a reflex save. All right, so you begin to fall to your right, but you reach out and another web, hang on to it. So you don't fall, but now the way your arms and legs are spread out, it'll be very difficult to move anywhere. And so out here where you are, take a look around, and you've got a better look at the rest of the web. And you don't see anything in it. And you know from your knowledge of nature that if it was inhabited, then the spider that created it would already be headed your way from all the movement you've made.
Well, I was more concerned with I don't know, finding past prey or something like that that was bound up in the web or any
that's what I'm
items
saying. Yeah, that you don't see anything.
Is there any other passages on on the other side of the web or anything like that?
Right. So no, and that's give me 1 second. That's just the limitations of the assets I had available to make the web or to make this map. It's just attached between these two stone causeways. There's nothing off to the other sides of it.
All right, come back in, Rohan.
Yeah, I'll try and work my way back.
Okay, do another balance. Oh, bad news, you fall all the way through the web. So Casimir, he falls now. And you've got a hold of that rope.
Okay.
So make a strength check. All right, so Rohan, you fall and you go about 10 feet and then suddenly you stop as this rope around your waist or chest or wherever you put it goes taut and takes the wind right out of you. But now you're hanging 10 feet below this platform. So while they're working on getting you pulled up, you notice something very odd here. Now you're looking at the bottom of these platforms and you see that there is nothing holding them up. There's no pillars, there's no ground, there's nothing to support the stone that you guys were on top of. All right, so Casimir, you got to pull him up. And what is Fenrith helping?
Yeah, I'll help him.
All right. So we don't need a strength for that then. You can slowly just pull him back up.
Are you all right, Rohan?
Yeah, I'm fine. Although I'm a little unsteady being on this causeway here. There's absolutely nothing holding it up. It's just a thin sheet of stone sticking out over nothing.
That's odd. I'll
Well,
go
it's
to
not the
edge.
weirdest thing we've seen ever, right?
I guess a giant thing that makes itself look like an ass is pretty strange. So yeah, but I'll move up to the edge and I'll try to look down under the platform we're on.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you like crawl on your belly and try to look under.
Yeah.
Well, it's too thick for you to see under the one you're on, but looking over to the other one, laying down, you can see, like he said, there's nothing holding it up. Not even this central portion. Like as far as you can see in any direction, there's nothing holding.
Yeah, that is very disturbing, Rohan.
Okay.
I guess I better get this trap disabled then.
Do you think that you can trigger it first so that we can at least know what we're dealing with?
I don't think I can trigger it from the outside.
You couldn't trigger it with that pole?
No, it's not just the button, it's the way the door functions when you try to open it.
Do you think that could we try and disable the spikes from coming out of the wall or hinder them in some way?
Not that I'm aware of, but I think I can do it.
I believe in you, Graham.
What? Give me just a second. I'm going to cast, I believe it's Eagle's Splendor, but I might be wrong. No, I have the wrong one. Never mind.
Okay. I will never mind.
So, Brandon, when I get over on the other side of where that kind of chasm was, is there a wall where this door would extend to?
Yeah, it's a wall. It's really tall, like at least 20 feet tall.
And the wall kind of just to the north of where Graham is that solid there or?
Yeah, it is. So where Graham is, where you are now in the space I put you, the walls are, there's a ceiling and walls. Out here, there's no more ceiling. Make sense?
Yeah, I'm just kind of wondering, like, if I'm standing here, looking in the towards that direction where Graham would be.
Yeah.
Are the walls kind of over here in this area solid?
Yeah. Those are the ones I was talking about that are like 20 feet tall.
Okay. Can I see any discerning marks or anything on them from this side?
No, nothing. You can actually see a curve at the top as if they move in, as if they become a ceiling for whatever's on the other side of that gate. But there's no marks. It's just pitted gray, dirty stone.
Are you guys ready? Stand clear.
I'm going to cast guidance on Graham, as it'll give you a +1 to your skill roll here.
Okay, here goes. I think I'm going to use my luck of heroes. That second one's actually an 18.
All right, so you put your tools in there and you're moving them around, and you realize there's a lock that has 3 stages to it. So if you had the key, you'd push it in and turn it and push it in further and turn it and then push it in further. So you see where the pin needs to be pushed on this first stage, and you push it into place and you hear a light click, and now it's time for the second stage. So make another roll.
Oh, am I doing open lock on this then?
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Yeah, those are do open lock. Is that were you trying to like disable the spikes or something?
Yeah.
I see. Okay. All right. Let's back up then. All right. So you see the mechanism that will trigger the spikes if the lock isn't open properly. But try though you might, you're not able to disable that. It doesn't trigger it. It just means that you're not able to stop that trap from going off if you fail to open the lock properly.
All right, I'll try the open locks then.
Okay, so stage 1, like I said, that goes well. You hear a click, and now it's on to stage 2. All right, that one goes really well. You push your lock picks in further, and you definitely maneuver them, and you hear another click. Now it's on to stage 3. Sweat pours down your face. You feel a little adrenaline, heart's pumping. Those spikes are just on the other side of that wall, ready to stab into you and tear your life away. All right. Now you hear a clank, and then spikes shoot out of the walls towards you. Roll a reflex save.
Sorry, 1 second.
No, now. Does that spell that John gave you give you to your saves?
I think he just said skills.
It's skill or skill saves and attack rolls. It's just a +1.
Like
But it
just
was
the next
for-
one, or for however many?
It was just on the first one that he ended
Okay.
up doing.
All right. Did anybody see that roll I just did?
No.
I saw
No.
shadows.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Graham, these spikes come shooting out of the wall and tear into your body, and you take 20 points of damage. And so you guys are watching. You see there's like floor to ceiling spikes, these metal spikes, rusty and jagged, shoot out. And, he tries to move, tries to dodge. He's been at a weird angle trying to get in between, but one of them takes right through his shoulder, another one right through his side, and another one in his leg, and then one grazes his head. And that clank you had heard inside that lock was really. Now you hear another click, and then the sound of machinery working as these spikes are slowly pulled back out of him.
I'll cry out, Graham, and run up to here, at least until I can get to him.
Yeah, you can get up to him now that the spikes are gone.
All right, I'm going to heal him. So I healed you for 18 points.
Oh, thanks, Fenrith. I'm getting better, though. Ow.
Why don't I think maybe we should take one more day back in that room for a second, and let's think about this, because even though I can heal him, I don't want to watch him get skewered over and over and over again until we get it right.
All right. So after you heal him, and while you're saying that to everybody, this gate opens violently, so quickly, just shoots off to either side, and firelight pours out of that room. And in the doorway stands this massive creature, like 10 feet, 12 feet tall, extremely well muscled, and it stomps on the stone floor on hooves. It's got these massive horns out of either side of its head that spread, as far as either as you are tall, and he's holding this massive axe. He's got a ring in his nose, and you look and see it's like a cross between a giant and a cow, and spittle and steams coming out of its mouth, and it raises its great axe. And that's where we'll stop for the night.
Thanks,
Sorry
Brandon.
you had to get skewered, Graham.
Oh, it's okay, Fenrith. I didn't die this time.
Yeah,
Me and
point.
you are going to get squished or split in two in one single blow, I think, when we come back.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thanks for the game, bro.
thanks, man.
Yeah,
It was fun.
you bet. Thanks for playing, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
See you again next week.
This has been a Death Watch production. Thank you for listening.